14 secret Stoic habits to cultivate calm and silence. Anxiety in 7 days. Anxiety has become the modern plague. You wake up and your mind is already running ahead of you. Deadlines, messages, expectations. The world demands your attention before you even take your first breath. You open your phone and instantly the storm begins again. But what if you could quiet that storm? What if, in only 7 days, you could reclaim the calm that once belonged to the strongest minds in history? For centuries, Stoic philosophers faced chaos far greater than ours. Empires crumbled around them, wars threatened their cities, and yet their minds remained unshaken. Marcus Aurelius ruled a world consumed by conflict, but within his thoughts there was order. Seneca lost everything: status, wealth, friends, and still found serenity. Epictetus was born a slave, yet he spoke of freedom no tyrant could take. These men discovered something eternal. Calm is not the absence of noise, but the mastery of it. What you are about to hear are 14 secret Stoic habits, forgotten practices of discipline, reflection, and power. They were designed not for monks in temples, but for men and women surrounded by pressure, temptation, and uncertainty. You will not need to escape the world to find peace. You will learn to stand in the center of the storm and remain still. Each day of the next 7 will reveal 2 habits. They are small but deliberate actions that shape the mind into something unbreakable. They are the silent rituals that make you wake up calm, speak with reason, act with purpose, and sleep without fear. The goal is not to eliminate anxiety completely, it is to render it powerless, to look at it with understanding instead of panic. You will begin to notice subtle changes. The morning noise will lose its grip on you. The rush of thoughts will slow. The things that once controlled your emotions will start to fade. And when they do, you will understand why the Stoics believed peace was not something you search for, but something you build, habit by habit, thought by thought. So take a breath, let the world outside fade for a moment. You're about to begin a journey that has survived 2,000 years, 7 days to train your mind, 14 habits to reclaim your calm, and 1 truth to remember through it all: nothing outside you can disturb the fortress within you, unless you open the gates. Before the noise of the day takes hold, there is a fragile moment, the space between sleep and consciousness. That instant decides who commands your mind, you or the world. Most people surrender it without realizing. They reach for their phones, scroll through chaos, and absorb anxiety before their feet even touch the ground. But the Stoic begins differently. The Stoic begins in silence. Marcus Aurelius started each day by reminding himself that he would meet arrogance, ignorance, and injustice, yet he chose not to mirror them. His mornings were not escapes from reality, but preparations for it. The first habit is to create that same morning stillness, even if for 2 minutes. Sit, breathe. Let your thoughts surface and observe them as you would clouds passing through the sky. Do not chase them. Do not judge them. Watch and let them drift. This silence is not an act of withdrawal. It is training. You are teaching your mind that not every impulse deserves your attention. You are reminding yourself that you are the observer, not the storm. The mind that begins the day reactive will spend the day enslaved to distraction. The mind that begins in silence will carry calm through every hour that follows. If you start your morning without centering yourself, the world will decide your emotions for you. But when you begin with this small act of control, you reclaim command over the day before it even begins. Each morning becomes a declaration: I am not at the mercy of the world. I am the master of my inner state. Practice this every day of the week. No music, no notifications, no conversation, just the rhythm of your breath and the weight of awareness. In silence, the Stoic finds strength. In stillness, he builds the discipline to remain unshaken no matter what follows. The first thought after waking is the seed of the day. If it is polluted with anxiety, everything that follows bends under its weight. But if it is directed with intention, the entire day aligns with strength and clarity. The Stoics believed that the mind can be trained to respond to life, not react to it, and that training begins with your very first thought. When Marcus Aurelius opened his eyes each morning, he didn't ask what the world owed him. He asked what virtue he could live by today. He reminded himself that he was alive and that to live meant to act with purpose, justice, and reason. That single shift, beginning with duty instead of desire, transformed ordinary mornings into disciplined beginnings. You can do the same. Before your mind floods with worries and noise, claim that first thought. Shape it. Make it your anchor. Say to yourself, today I will meet the world with calm. Do not let your phone, your obligations, or the opinions of others decide how your day starts. You are not a machine reacting to signals. You are a human being capable of choice. That choice, repeated each morning, becomes character. If your first thought is gratitude, peace follows. If it is anger or fear, the mind loses balance. The Stoic's task is to intercept that moment, just 1 second, and choose wisely. This is not mere positivity, it is mental architecture. Each thought lays a stone in the fortress of your mind. Build it with care. By mastering this single act, you begin to master the hours that come after. The mind learns consistency. The emotions learn obedience. And anxiety, finding no chaos to feed on, begins to dissolve in the presence of order. The world may test you, but you will already be prepared because your first thought of the day was yours, not the world's. Anxiety thrives on the illusion of control. The mind races toward what might happen, what others may think, what outcomes you cannot change. You suffer not because the world is cruel, but because you wrestle with things that were never yours to command. The Stoics understood this deeply. They drew a line between what depends on you and what does not, and they refused to cross it. Imagine a general who spends his energy trying to control the wind instead of preparing his soldiers. That is what most people do every day. They lose themselves in the unpredictable instead of directing their power toward the controllable. The Stoic mind acts differently. It focuses on action, not outcome, on discipline, not demand. When Marcus Aurelius faced wars, betrayal, and disease, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That sentence is not a metaphor. It is a command. Control your perception, your decisions, your attitude. Nothing else deserves your energy. When you obsess over what others will say or how events will unfold, you hand them the keys to your peace. Take today as an exercise. Each time anxiety appears, ask one question: is this within my control? If the answer is no, release it. If yes, act with clarity and courage. You will notice how the weight begins to lift. The chaos of the outside world no longer determines the rhythm of your heart. This habit is the foundation of Stoic resilience. It transforms fear into focus. It turns uncertainty into strength. Once you understand what belongs to you and what doesn't, you stop fighting shadows. You stand firm, calm, and immovable, like a mountain facing the storm. Every day you are surrounded by emotions that are not yours. Fear, anger, envy, chaos. They move through crowds like invisible smoke. Most people inhale it without knowing, and soon they breathe anxiety that does not even belong to them. The Stoic learns a different art: to observe the emotions of others without becoming their vessel. Seneca once wrote that no man is made wiser by the noise of the multitude. Wisdom grows in the quiet ability to witness without absorbing. The Stoic sees the anger of another, but he does not take it personally. He hears gossip, but he does not feed it. He witnesses fear, but he does not mirror it. This habit separates the calm from the restless, the disciplined from the reactive. When someone speaks with aggression or panic, do not meet them at their level. Step back within yourself. Observe their emotion as if watching a wave crash against a rock. The rock does not fight the sea, it endures it. It remains. You must become that rock. Awareness is your defense, perspective is your shield. This practice is not cold detachment, it is strength under control. By refusing to absorb the emotions of others, you protect your mental order. You stop allowing the chaos of the world to dictate your inner weather. Anxiety loses its food source when you stop feeding it with borrowed fears. In every encounter, choose to see without becoming. Listen without reacting. Understand without agreeing. When you master this, the actions of others will no longer decide your peace. You will move through the noise of humanity untouched. Not because you avoid it, but because you have learned to remain whole inside it. Most people drift through their days without ever stopping to examine them. They repeat the same mistakes, nurture the same fears, and wonder why their life feels unchanged. The Stoic does not drift. He reflects. He turns reflection into a weapon, a mirror through which he sharpens his reason and clears his mind. Marcus Aurelius ended each day by reviewing his actions. He asked himself, "What did I do well? Where did I falter? What thoughts guided me?" This was not guilt or self-punishment. It was discipline. He used reflection as a blacksmith uses fire to purify what is strong and burn away what is weak. Anxiety often comes from confusion. We feel lost because we never stop to ask where we are going. When you reflect daily, you break that pattern. You confront your thoughts before they rule you. You see your habits not as accidents but as choices. In that awareness, anxiety dissolves because chaos cannot survive in clarity. Each night before sleep, sit for a few moments and retrace the day. Do not rush. Let your mind wander through every scene, the words you spoke, the emotions you felt, the choices you made. Ask yourself if they align with the person you wish to become. This simple ritual creates order in the mind, and order is the enemy of anxiety. Reflection is not about judging the day, but understanding it. The Stoic seeks progress, not perfection. When you practice this habit, you wake up lighter, your mind uncluttered. You start each morning knowing that the weight of yesterday has already been examined and released. That is how the Stoic sleeps. Not because life is easy, but because his conscience is clean. The modern mind fears discomfort. It seeks comfort in every form, the soft bed, the warm routine, the easy path. But comfort is deceptive. It weakens the will, sharpens anxiety, and teaches the mind to panic when faced with the slightest challenge. The Stoic reverses this pattern. He does not wait for hardship to test him. He invites it in small doses to build strength before life demands it. Seneca practiced sleeping on the floor once a month. He ate simple food and wore coarse clothes, not because he was poor, but because he wanted to remember how little he truly needed. Through voluntary discomfort, he learned that loss was never as frightening as the mind imagined. The fear of pain is often worse than pain itself. This habit is not punishment, it is preparation. By choosing brief moments of discomfort, you teach your nervous system that hardship does not control you. Skip a luxury, walk in the cold, delay a meal, face an inconvenience without complaint. Each act tells your mind, I am capable of more than I believe. The body adapts, the spirit hardens, and anxiety loses its grip. Modern anxiety thrives on dependency on comfort, approval, and certainty. The Stoic breaks these chains one voluntary challenge at a time. When you learn to find calm amid small discomforts, greater storms no longer intimidate you. The world may shift, but you remain composed because your peace is not built on ease, but endurance. Train yourself through choice, not chance. Do not wait for misfortune to remind you of your strength. Create moments that forge it daily. The Stoic who embraces discomfort becomes untouchable because he no longer fears what life can take away. He has already faced it and smiled. The mind reveals its chaos through words. Most people speak to fill silence, to escape the weight of stillness, to convince themselves they are in control. But the Stoic knows that every word spent carelessly diminishes inner strength. Speech is a mirror of thought, and when you master your tongue, you begin to master your mind. Epictetus reminded his students that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, to listen twice as much as we speak. He believed that wisdom grows not from constant expression, but from measured silence. When you speak too much, you scatter energy. When you speak with purpose, your words become arrows, few, focused, and powerful. To practice this habit, slow down before responding. Let the silence stretch. Notice how your mind wants to react, how your ego seeks validation, how your anxiety fears being misunderstood. Then choose your words as a philosopher would, not to impress, but to clarify, not to win, but to reveal truth. The Stoic does not speak to be heard, he speaks to bring order to thought. When you reduce unnecessary speech, your thoughts sharpen. Conversations lose their tension. Conflicts fade before they start. You no longer rush to defend yourself or explain what needs no defense. Silence becomes strength and presence becomes persuasion. The fewer words you use, the more weight they carry. Observe those who remain calm while others argue. Their quietness unsettles chaos. Their restraint commands respect. That is the power of deliberate speech. When you learn to speak less and mean more, you stop feeding anxiety with noise and begin nurturing it with clarity. Your voice becomes steady because your thoughts are steady. That is how the Stoic communicates, with precision, calm, and purpose. Anxiety feeds on attachment. The moment you tie your peace to results, you surrender control of your emotions to chance. You study, work, love, and hope, but deep inside, you fear failure. That fear poisons your effort. The Stoic, however, does not seek freedom in success. He seeks it in detachment. Marcus Aurelius acted with complete commitment, yet he accepted that outcomes belonged to fate. He knew that no amount of worry could change what was beyond his reach. His focus remained on the integrity of action, not the illusion of control. This is the essence of the 8th habit. Give your best effort, then release it. Detach not through indifference, but through discipline. Do the work as if results are already written because they are. You can control your intention, your method, and your attitude, nothing else. Anxiety disappears when the mind stops negotiating with uncertainty. The Stoic works hard, but sleeps peacefully because his satisfaction comes from the act, not the applause. Every time you worry about what will happen, pause and remind yourself, I have done what reason demanded. That sentence is a shield. It frees you from the emotional slavery of expectation. You cannot own the future, but you can own this moment. That is enough. This habit transforms ambition into serenity. You still pursue excellence, but without desperation. You still desire progress, but without fear. Detachment is not the rejection of goals. It is the liberation from their grip. The mind anchored in the present cannot drown in the tides of uncertainty. That is why the Stoic achieves more by needing less. He moves with calm precision while others are paralyzed by outcomes. Every challenge hides a gift. Most people see obstacles as interruptions to their path, but the Stoic sees them as the path itself. Life does not conspire against you, it instructs you. Each difficulty reveals the strength you still lack, the patience you have not mastered, the wisdom you have not practiced. When you begin to see adversity through this lens, anxiety loses its authority over you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." He understood that resistance is not punishment, but guidance. The mind that complains stays trapped. The mind that learns moves forward. When faced with a problem, the Stoic asks not, "Why me?" but "What can this teach me?" That shift turns suffering into strategy. Every obstacle has two faces, one of frustration, the other of formation. The first destroys, the second builds. You choose which one to face. The Stoic transforms misfortune into movement. When insulted, he practices patience. When delayed, he strengthens endurance. When defeated, he refines discipline. Nothing is wasted. Every challenge becomes material for mastery. This habit is the antidote to despair. It does not deny pain, but it redirects it. You can either let obstacles consume your energy or convert them into purpose. Anxiety cannot survive in a mind that sees opportunity in difficulty. The very force that once frightened you becomes the fire that forges you. Begin to practice this today. When something goes wrong, pause and ask, "How can this serve my growth?" That single question changes everything. It replaces helplessness with action and chaos with clarity. The Stoic finds power not by avoiding obstacles, but by transforming them into the stepping stones that lead him forward. Calm, determined, and free. The words you speak to yourself shape the world you live in. Long before fear appears, it begins as a whisper in the mind. Subtle, repetitive, convincing. Most people let that whisper grow into a storm. They feed anxiety with their own voice, repeating stories of doubt and failure until those stories become identity. The Stoic breaks that pattern by mastering his inner dialogue. Epictetus taught that it is not events themselves that disturb us, but the opinions we hold about them. The same truth applies inward. It is not life that makes you anxious. It is the way you interpret it. When you tell yourself you are weak, you act weakly. When you remind yourself you are capable, your body follows. The mind obeys the language it hears most often. This habit demands vigilance. Observe your inner speech throughout the day. When you notice a negative thought, do not fight it. Replace it. Tell yourself, "I can endure this. I have faced worse. I remain calm." These are not empty affirmations. They are mental commands. The brain rewires itself through repetition, and every word you repeat becomes a brick in the fortress of your calm. Marcus Aurelius spoke to himself through writing. His meditations were not meant for others. They were reminders to stay aligned with reason and virtue. You can do the same. When the mind begins to wander into chaos, speak to it as a leader would to a soldier. Firmly, clearly, with direction. Your inner voice can either destroy you or defend you. Guard it as you would guard a kingdom. Let no unworthy word take root. The world will test you with noise, but the greatest test is the conversation within your own mind. Master that, and you master peace itself. Fear grows strongest in the minds of those who are unprepared. Anxiety often comes not from what happens, but from being caught off guard. The Stoics dismantled this fear through a mental exercise called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of misfortune. They imagined adversity before it came, so that when it did, they were already calm within it. Seneca practiced this daily. He would visualize loss, pain, insult, even death, not to invite suffering, but to rob it of its surprise. He said that the man who has rehearsed his trials in his mind meets them with steadiness when they arrive. Fear cannot shock the mind that has already walked the path of hardship in thought. This habit transforms imagination from a source of panic into a tool of preparation. Try it yourself. In a quiet moment, imagine the challenges that could confront you today. A harsh word, a failure, an unexpected problem. See them clearly. Then, picture yourself responding with calm. Watch your breath remain steady. your words measured, your reason intact. You are not predicting disaster, you are rehearsing resilience. This practice conditions your nervous system to remain composed under pressure. It turns anxiety into readiness. When reality tests you, it feels familiar. You no longer ask, "Why is this happening to me?" but rather, "I have prepared for this moment." That shift is power. The Stoic knows that life will always bring storms, but he also knows that storms lose their terror when you have already stood in the rain in your mind. Rehearsal breeds courage, anticipation breeds control, and control breeds peace. Anxiety cannot dominate a mind that has already practiced serenity amid imagined chaos. Anxiety often grows from postponement. The illusion that peace and meaning exist somewhere in the future. People wait for the perfect moment, the next milestone, the right circumstance to feel whole. But that moment never comes, because life is not waiting to begin. The Stoic lives differently. He treats each day as a complete life in itself, not a fragment of one to come. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself each morning that he might not see the evening. To him, this was not a cause for fear, but for focus. It was a call to presence. When you realize that every sunrise might be the last you witness, trivial concerns lose their weight. Anxiety fades because time no longer stretches infinitely ahead. It becomes sacred now. This habit does not ask you to abandon your goals. It asks you to live fully within today's boundaries, to work, love, and think as if this single day is your masterpiece. When you approach life this way, pressure dissolves. You stop trying to control years and instead master hours. You stop chasing purpose and start embodying it. At the end of each day, ask yourself, if this were the last page of my story, would I be proud of it? This question clarifies what truly matters. It silences the noise of comparison, the fear of time slipping away, the endless striving for what is not here. The Stoic finds peace not by extending life, but by deepening it. When you live each day as a complete life, you break the cycle of postponement. You no longer wait for calm, you create it through awareness. You stop fearing the future because you are already living well in the present. That is the essence of Stoic immortality. Not living forever, but living fully, right now. Emotions are powerful forces. They rise fast, demand attention, and pull your actions toward impulse. Anger shouts, fear paralyzes, desire blinds. The Stoic understands these forces, but does not kneel to them. He chooses virtue over emotion, reason over reaction, knowing that the mind guided by principle will always outlast the mind ruled by feeling. Epictetus taught that the moment emotion takes control, reason leaves the throne. He urged his students to pause before acting, to ask, what is the right thing to do, not the easiest? That pause separates the wise from the restless. It creates space between impulse and action, and in that space, character is born. Anxiety thrives when you let emotion lead. It pushes you to overthink, to please, to defend, to control. Virtue stops this spiral. When your decisions are grounded in justice, courage, temperance, and wisdom, no emotion can move you off course. You might still feel anger or fear, but they no longer dictate your behavior. You act from principle, not panic. Practice this habit daily. When someone provokes you, ask yourself which virtue applies. Patience, compassion, discipline. When frustration rises, remember that emotional storms are temporary, but the cost of reaction is lasting. A calm response is not weakness, it is command. The Stoic does not deny his emotions. He masters them through alignment with values higher than his impulses. To choose virtue over emotion is to step out of chaos and into order. It gives your life a moral compass that anxiety cannot disturb. You become the ruler of your inner empire, and no external disturbance can dethrone you. When every action is chosen through virtue, peace ceases to be accidental. It becomes your natural state. Every anxious mind lives in a place that doesn't exist. It wanders between the regret of the past and the fear of what has not yet come. The Stoic learns to return to the only place where strength, calm, and life truly reside, the present moment. To live in the present is not to forget the future or erase the past. It is to stop being enslaved by them. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the present is all we ever lose, for it is the only time truly ours. He warned against scattering attention across endless what-ifs. The Stoic anchors himself in the now through awareness, of breath, of sensation, of the simple fact of being alive. When the mind begins to drift toward anxiety, this awareness brings it home. The habit is simple but profound. When you feel your thoughts racing ahead, stop and name one thing you can see, one thing you can hear, one thing you can feel. Let those details ground you. The world outside may remain chaotic, but your focus returns to where your power exists. This moment. Every deep breath you take becomes an act of defiance against fear. The present moment is a fortress that cannot be invaded. Anxiety has no access to it. It survives only in memory or imagination. When you master this return, you discover a peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. The future may remain uncertain, but you no longer are. This final habit unites all the others. Silence, reflection, detachment, virtue, all lead here to presence. When you live each moment consciously, the noise of the world fades. You act with clarity, you rest with confidence, and you see that serenity was never missing. It was waiting here, where it always has been, in the stillness of now. 14 habits, 7 days, a lifetime of transformation. You began this journey seeking calm, but what you have truly found is control, not over the world, but over yourself. The Stoic path was never about escaping chaos. It was about learning to stand within it without losing your center. Each habit has been a stone laid carefully into the foundation of a fortress that nothing external can destroy. You have learned to begin each morning in silence, to guide your first thought, to focus only on what you can control. You have practiced reflection, embraced discomfort, and mastered your words. You detached from results, transformed obstacles, and guarded your inner voice. You rehearsed adversity, lived each day completely, and chose virtue over emotion. Finally, you return to the present moment, the heart of Stoic peace. What you hold now is not theory, it is training. These habits are meant to be lived, not remembered. The mind is like iron. It rusts when left unused. Practice daily. When anxiety rises, recall the discipline of silence. When fear whispers, remember the strength of choice. When the world pulls you into noise, return to the breath, to reason, to now. The Stoics believed that freedom is not given. It is earned through mastery of the self. You have taken the first steps on that road. You will still feel emotion, still face chaos, still fall at times, but you will rise with awareness, because you no longer mistake storms for destruction. You see them for what they are. Teachers. Calm is not fragile. It is forged. It is the result of deliberate practice, of choosing order over impulse, reason over fear, virtue over comfort. Let these habits become part of who you are, until serenity is no longer something you chase, but something you carry. The fortress is not elsewhere, it is within you, and as long as you guard it, no storm can take it away.